You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey, Young the Restless fans, it's time for our weekly prediction edition. We're going to talk about Audra conspiring with Summer and Nick's next love. We have got predictions for Lily and Damian, for Nate and Audra, for the mystery man Dumas, for Summer and Audra, and also for Nick. It's Belinda from Soap Dirt, and if you are not following us already, please reach down, click that subscribe button. Let's dive right in with our first prediction. Damian tells Lily that he owes Dumas everything. So spoilers for this week. On Tuesday, April 15th, have Lily pressuring Damian to come clean with her. Lily tells Damian this is his one chance to prove that she can trust him, or else all bets are off. On Friday, April 18th, Lily is talking to Amy and sharing some concerns after that conversation with Damian. So Amy knows, as we do, that Damian had nothing to his name, basically, after he ran off and left Amy after his dad died because he was really upset. Damian thought that Amy had dumped all his dad's caretaking onto him and thought she was apathetic, although Damian now knows that Amy was actually having to work extra hard to pay for all his dad's medical expenses. So at the time when he launched out on his own, he had not a penny to his name. And then Damian suddenly owning two companies, that surprised Amy because to her it felt like it came pretty fast and out of nowhere. And then, of course, we found out that it's Dumas who owns the companies and Damian's just running them, acting like he owned them, which I suspect might be something to do with trying to keep those companies off of Victor's radar, something like that. So Lily may think that Damian has gotten in way over his head with Dumas, and I think she's going to tell Amy all about it. And Damian may be in a position where he's stuck with Dumas no matter what, because Damian may still own nothing and he is completely reliant on Dumas. Our second prediction, Nate is distracted by Holden and doesn't see the real threat. So on Tuesday, April 15th, Nate gives Holden a warning. That's the same day that spoilers say Audra makes a bold move. And on Wednesday, April 16th, Audra is stretching the truth. This is all to do with the getting Kyle to break up with Claire or vice versa plot that Victor has her cooking up. Sally already warned Audra it's not a good idea and she could lose Nate, but Audra believes that Victor is going to fund a company for her, which he agreed to so long as Audra finds a way to break up Kyle and Claire. Audra's been out of work for a long time, so she is desperate, but the guy that put her out of work, Victor, is the one she made this deal with. So it's just a bad idea from the jump, and Sally is quite right to be worried. But Nate may be so preoccupied with Holden, who legitimately does want to steal Audra from Nate, that he doesn't even notice what Audra is doing with Kyle. And this bold move sounds like something to do with Claire and Kyle. And then Audra stretching the truth seems like it's something to do with that as well. And the thing is, I don't think Audra really knows what she's getting into with Claire. I think she might be underestimating her, as is Victor, because I think she would totally rat Audra out to Nate. And Audra's going to have to do something provocative to try and split them, and it could look really, really bad for Audra. And like Sally said, she might really wind up losing everything back to Victor again. Our third prediction, Mystery Man Dumas shakes up Genoa City. So in spring, we have the debut of Billy Flynn's new character. And again, I think that's who he's playing. We'll find out. Some people thought that it might be Kane Ashby behind it, but now we know Daniel Goddard landed a role over on General Hospital. There's been some chatter that it might be Tucker McCall, but there's no signs that Trevor St. John is coming back. And we do know Billy Flynn is coming on in spring. So that's what I'm doing the math on. Spoilers for Wednesday, April 16th, have Jack and Kyle discovering deception at Jabot. Victor's spies are discovered, and that same day, Victor sets a trap for Billy. So Victor is going after Jack, Kyle, and Billy, all the Abbotts. On Thursday, April 17th, Jack and Diane are planning their defense against Victor's aggression, and Friday, Diane is putting Michael in a compromising position, asking for help. So Dumas is a serious threat to Victor, and that means he could be a very serious ally to the Abbotts. Victor is caught this week when Jack and Kyle figure out they're spies at Jabot, and the bottom line, Victor is alienating a lot of people in Genoa City, and he's setting the perfect stage for Dumas to swoop in and gather up all of Victor's enemies as his allies. And Nate's going to be upset that Victor was enticing Audra. If she doesn't get what she wants out of Victor, she'll be angry at him again. Lily's going to be angry when she finds out Victor's been misleading her yet again. Devon and Nate already don't trust Victor, and Dumas is supposedly going to be romancing Lily. So we'll see, but Victor may actually be priming the pump for his enemy. Our fourth prediction, Summer conspires with Audra. On Tuesday, April 15th, Audra makes a bold move, and Wednesday, April 16th, Audra is stretching the truth. And we know from last week when Summer talked to Chance that she still wants Kyle. She's finally admitted it, and Chance walked away. But Summer's not having a lot of luck on her own making a play for Kyle. Meanwhile, Audra wants to break up Kyle and Claire to get the payday that Victor promised her, but she's got no skin in the game because she doesn't want Kyle for herself, but Summer does. Audra has to also be careful because she doesn't want to actually cheat on Nate. Right now, Audra thinks she can talk Nate down as long as she doesn't actually cross a line. Summer's desperate to get Kyle back, so her working with Audra makes perfect sense. They can both get what they want, and best of all, if Kyle winds up with Summer instead of Audra, it will back up what she needs Nate to believe so he doesn't break up with her. Our fifth and final prediction, Nick's return sparks a romance with Sally once again. So on Monday, April 14th, Nick makes a confession to Victoria. He tells her he's never going to get back with Sharon, that it's not happening, and he promised Victoria also he wouldn't get back with Phyllis. So where does that leave Nick? All alone. Meanwhile, Nick's heading to Europe with Sharon and the kids to see Noah, but he keeps friend-zoning her, not just to Sharon's face, but also when talking to literally anybody else, including recently with Victoria. Phyllis and Billy are getting to work at AbbottCom, and they're supposed to be getting much closer. Sally's not going to want to tangle with a situation like that. She's already concerned about Phyllis being close to Billy and has warned him he's not listening. I think Sally is going to be where she's going to cut bait at some point. By the time Nick gets back from Europe, Sally may be broken up and looking for comfort. We know things with Billy and Phyllis are going to explode at some point, and Nick has confirmed Sharon and Phyllis are both out of the picture. Adam's happy with Chelsea, and remember, a lot of fans really liked Nick with Sally, and to be fair, they never had a proper chance at romance because of Adam, and now that he's out of the way, it might really work for them.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast, because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.